I am back with Jennifer Blades, who is producing a new show in the Live Art Studio. Um, and it is the show is called A Winter's Journey. It is a weaving together of the Schubert Die Winterreise along with Maury Yeston's December songs. And Jennifer, I just wanted to come back and circle back with this on you because I was in the studio and there were trees with lights on them, which I love twinkly lights, but there were trees with lights, and um, I haven't seen any of the rehearsals yet, so this is full disclosure for the audience. But we discussed in the last interview, you talked about it being a multimedia piece. Um, Tell me a little bit about that because I think there are projections. Tell me what.
So I had the idea that we would do projections in order to evoke the winter, the winter scenes. And I'm working with Thomas Huggins, and he is helping me gather different scenes from the songs. So what we're doing is we're taking one, two, maybe three different uh, projections, photos that we're gathering that will evoke the mood of the songs. Um, Most of the ones from Winterreise are going to be outdoors, winter, because that is pretty much what is in each of those songs, whether it is uh, a landscape or there are some where we're talking about, say, there's a couple of songs where we're talking about the mail, the post being delivered. There's a song where both of us sing about either a sun or a moon. I sing about two moons in the sky. So we're trying to help the audience envision those since we don't really have a set. And it's
Right.
not an actual theatrical piece. We're creating the theater for the audience. And also, I want all of the super titles, all of the text to be up there, even though we're singing English. It's unfamiliar text. Uh, it's a it's a new translation for the Winterreise, and I want everyone to be able to understand it. So we're getting that all up on the
Right.
screen.
Who did the translation for Die Winterreise?
Jeremy Sams,
Okay. All right.
and he's brilliant. I
Yeah.
love the translations. So
Yeah. It's interesting. I there are people who are absolutely dead set against translations of things like this. I am not one of those people.
right,
I think it's really important because the idea with art song and this type of repertoire is that when we sit there, we need to be able to have a direct, we need to be able to
right.
have that direct feedback, not, you sing, I listen, I look at my program, I look up and you're singing something and oh, I've missed 5 sentences. Um, so I think that's really important, and I'm glad you're doing it that way.
Right. I wanted to make it accessible for the audience, especially if we're telling a story. And
Mhm.
I've talked a lot about this, especially with Nicole, because as a dancer, she's really doing a lot of movement more than dancing, because she doesn't really do heavy duty dancing anymore since she's the artistic director
Right.
now. We've talked a lot about what we're trying to get. There's a song in December songs. It's bookseller in the rain, and
Right.
I want her to be more of the person with the books, and so where she's moving in time and I'm trying to see the stories in the books, and then the books go away because it starts to rain, and so it's about evoking the what's happening in the
Right.
song for the
Right.
audience, so they can feel like they're there and they're a part of it.
The song in I mean, obviously the Yeston cycle opens with what, December snow?
Ember Snow.
Yeah, which is lovely. I mean, it really sets the scene. But the song that in Yeston that just kind of always just hits me really hard is the please not let's not even say hello.
Oh, oh,
You
that
know,
just, oh my
and
God.
and honestly, um, when you hear and I'm going to be anxious to see how you sort of do this, but you don't see that coming.
Not at all.
That song, when it happens, it comes completely
Yeah,
out of, to me, out of thin
yeah.
air. Um, and it's the other thing that I find interesting is, is the way he creates, what is it, bookseller in the rain, and then um the love letters.
My grandmother's love
My
letters.
grandmother's love letters. These are such interesting and wonderful songs, and both sets. And
Oh,
again,
yeah,
it just, I think it. So the idea of reimagining this with images and text and movement, I think is really wonderful. And to me, it it really goes. It shows you how important it is that what we do not be static. Um,
oh,
there
absolutely.
there are many among us who would have us do um, Die Winterreise with a baritone in a tailcoat in a salon, and that's it. And again, I think this approach, this kind of approach, lets things live a little bit. So
Right.
it's I love it. It's excellent, excellent.
Thanks, thanks. And should anybody be concerned that we're gonna do 24 of the Schubert and 10 of Maury Yeston, you're gonna be there for 6 days. We didn't do that.
Yeah,
We took actually, it's 9 of the Schubert,
right.
and one of them we actually broke into 2 because it kind of bookends a little vignette that,
Well,
like, it's like a scene in a scene, and then, and we took 9 actually
right,
of the Yeston.
right.
We left 1 out that just didn't work with the story, and I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
tell you.
but also the other thing is, when you talk about the 24 Schubert, unless I'm mistaken, the original version, there were 12,
There were 12
and then
poems,
right,
and then he found
then
the
he
song.
added. So,
Oh,
and
right.
this has led to a lot of discussion and debate
Mhm.
about Die Winterreise. And it's funny. This has nothing to do with Schubert. It's Mendelssohn. But
Right.
I was reading an article about different conductors' approach to dealing with Elijah,
Hmm.
because if you do the whole thing, for instance, it's 2.5 hours. I mean, it's a honker. The question is, what are the places that you can trim, especially for a modern audience?
Right, so I took them all and I did it. A lot of what I did was largely from text,
Right.
because to me, the text is paramount.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, this will be fun. And come and see this. Get tickets at liveartsmd.org and go look for A Winter's Journey. Go see Jennifer, Andrew, Nicole, and Jason, um, to bring you an evening or an afternoon of some beautiful music. All right. We'll see you there.
I can make
Thanks so much.
my most fantastic dreams come true. My romance doesn't need a thing